How come most startups fail, even when we have more tactics and strategies than ever before? Join the bedside chat of an entrepreneurial couple as they share what it takes to create a business with ease and in flow.
Welcome back to another Biz In Flow bedside chat. I'm Natasha
And I'm Jachym.
And Jachym is extremely tired right now.
I am about to fall asleep while talking.
Try that.
I can't because when I fall asleep I'll probably stop talking.
Why are you so tired?
I don't know. It's just been a long day, lots of work. We've been quite busy setting up the foundation of Biz In Flow with the website and the writing of the content for the website and all of that, and that's been quite time consuming, and also all the tech stuff that needs to be placed. We don't really see what goes into a website on a tech side till you start doing it, and then you realize, well, there's a whole lot of stuff that you need to take care of.
Mm-hmm. But we've gotten it done in a couple of days, which is pretty good for us amateurs.
That's very true.
So it's really sweet when Jachym says that we are laying the foundation, because near where we live, they are tearing down a ton of building and building up new condos. So we were walking, taking a break, taking a walk to the forest, and Jachym was like, "Oh, you see those machines? That's what we're doing. We're building our foundation."
Because they're also laying the foundation. They already tore down the buildings. They're laying the foundations, and it's quite loud, actually. So, tell me, do you have any reflections on today?
Well, we both have finished our biographies or about us page, and it seems like we both have gone down completely different paths, yet somehow we came back together, not as a couple, but kind of like as individuals, as people, to meet at this point in time where we're both ready to create Biz In Flow. Yeah. So it's really crazy to see, I guess, your beginning, your journey, all the windy roads that you took in your life, just how far off it seemed like it was veering off. Like if this was the destination, you were like off track like the whole time. And also for me, right? Like the majority of that path was just like in a totally different direction, yet somehow we were able to kind of return to ourselves, remember what's true, come from that place, start our own practices, and then end up here. It's really fascinating to see just how different our stories are, yet we're meeting here at this point.
Well, and I would say actually you were on track the whole time, because going through those experiences is what shapes you today and what allows you to work with people in the way that you do. So you actually seemingly went off track, but it was necessary to gain and learn those experiences in those different places and learn what it means, for example, for you to not listen to yourself and to do things in a way that you're just trying to please someone or trying to fit in, and what that does to you and your life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else that you have learned or that you like to reflect on?
I think that when you're the one walking down the path, it's really difficult to be able to consciously pick up all the learnings along the way.
Oh yeah, you do it in retrospect. You don't do it while you do get the learnings while you're there, of course, but consciously you get it when you're out of it. When you're in the middle of it, man, you don't see what's really going on. You're just a bit lost and you're going down whatever path you're on. And when you are able to step out of it, then you see, oh yeah, right, I learned all those things and this was the place for it. So I can, pick out those different learnings.
Mm-hmm. Because I had my original version. I just wrote what came to me. It wasn't bad. But you told me that, it's just segments of my life. And it didn't flow together. It didn't have some kind of sequence, even though there's a very, very clear theme. The theme that I was always listening to other people and other people's perspectives, what they expected of me, what they wanted me to do, always took the forefront of my life, of how I acted and behaved. And that was just ongoing, like from a really young age up to, you know, university, still trying to find myself and still fighting that. And I think this relates to yesterday too, that imaginary box, that glass box that we kind of put ourselves in when it's not my expectation, even it's someone else's, and how to break free from that. And it's so funny because even when I started my own business, I was able to recreate that problem. I was able to recreate that pattern and still, you know, do the same mistakes that I made when I was younger. So it's really strange to see how the circumstances can change, right? So you build a business, you're more independent, you're not a child anymore. But then at the same time, there are certain patterns that you can still repeat, and it's as if you don't break free from what you were, you know, struggling with the whole time.
Yeah.
While growing up.
And that's exactly why we have created and are creating Biz In Flow, because if you don't take care of the patterns that you're running, as you said, you're changing circumstances, you're changing sceneries, but you have just different characters then playing out the same pattern all over again. And what we want to give people and help people with is actually breaking those patterns, breaking free and grow beyond where they are at right now, so that they can and feel the success, the peace, the fulfillment that they're looking for. Because just switching circumstances often can, you know, just be that, switching circumstance, but you take yourself with you when you switch circumstance.
Mm-hmm. And it's really strange to look back and to see how, even though I was going to all sorts of places, it really helped me to be who I am today and to actually be really qualified in my position to actually help people who might suffer or who might, you know, be going through something that I went through.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You gotta go down those paths. Like I've gone down some dark emotional paths where I felt all kinds of what we would call negative emotions. They're just really emotions, maybe darker emotions. I don't really know what to call them, but having gone through that, I have, and having come out of them as well, I have the confidence of being able to work with most people that come my way, because I've experienced it and I know how it feels, especially on you, really, and what it does to you. And by that I'm talking about patterns like victimhood, self-destructive, not just being the victim, but also being the perpetrator, where I'm the one who is using someone in some way, shape, or form. And, you know, at that time it might feel like good, like you're gaining something or whatever like that, but actually in reality you're really hurting yourself.
Mm-hmm. So for this episode, I really invite you to take a look at your own story, because, you know, when we become an entrepreneur or when we put ourselves out there as a personal brand, sometimes we believe that we need to be perfect, we need to be there wherever there is. But at least in my story and Jachym's story, and you can please go to bizinflow.com to actually, you know, read our personal stories and see exactly what we're talking about. But when we reach our own versions of success, it looks very different than what a lot of people are selling, because a lot of the success or that goal, it's just stuff, or it's just
material.
Yeah, it just looks like success, right? Like it just looks like it. But how does it feel? And when do you know you've arrived at that success? So for us, it's really important to be honest and to share with you the whole journey, and not to avoid or to just skip out, right? Or erase, or try to hide any parts that, of our past or what we have done, because it really builds our credibility. It builds our character, and it has, good or bad, it has shaped us and has really helped us to be as strong and as grounded and as good coaches as we are today. So if there's something in your past that still feels kind of sticky, or you're not sure if you're ready to share with the world or to be honest about, as you build your own brand and as you tell the world your own founding or origin story, then I will look into that, because that could actually be your greatest asset. Like, that could be the point where people meet you at and see you as a human and connect to you with, and maybe that's even the place where you can overcome yourself and help others with. But we need to kind of meet that darkness, right? We need to see it, pull through whatever it is that topic may be for you, and come out on the other side so that there's nothing to hide. Because the moment you put yourself out there as a personal brand, or you start writing about your, childhood or your story, it's okay. But you need to accept that first. And it's just going to get harder if there's something you don't accept and you're trying to avoid or hide as you step into the public eye, as you become someone that other people are going to be looking up to, or even just trying to get a feel for. People can tell honesty from with those sticky feelings.
Absolutely, and I think this is really important when we look at how to create a personal brand, because if you're creating a personal brand that is made up in the sense of that it doesn't fit you, it's completely the opposite of how you would be really, and you have to basically put up a front all the time and a mask, then it becomes very tiring for you, because you have to always pretend rather than just be you. And also by trying to be perfect, you're actually cutting away your humanness. And what people relate to is not just someone who is perfect. I mean, you can just look at characters that we root for in movies. They're not the perfect characters. They have their flaws, they have their difficulties, they have their challenges that they overcome. They go into a hero's journey, they sometimes get lost. And we, for some reason, believe we have to be perfect and we have to be someone that we are not, which is completely not true. You're perfect as you are. And if you're trying to build a personal brand, I can really recommend to look at all of that you are, with all the flaws and shortcomings and all of that we can have. Because that's part of your personality, and that's beautiful. And I loved what you said. If there's something that you feel uncomfortable with, it is really worthwhile to take a look at it so you're comfortable in your own skin and there's not really any things that people cannot mention or say or ask about. Not to say that maybe some things you don't want to disclose in public, and that's completely fine, but you're secure in yourself.
So take a moment today to do exactly that for you. It might be an uncomfortable process. It might be something you're not used to. And you might even be asking yourself, I'm just trying to create a business. I'm just trying to create a personal brand. Like, what does that have to do with myself and my issues? Well, girl or dude, it absolutely has to do with you, because you can avoid it now in this moment when you're just like dreaming of your ideas or things are still going well. But at some point, it's going to trigger you. At some point, it's going to come up. And when it does, it's not just going to be something personal. It's going to be about business. It's going to impact your work. It's going to impact your bottom line. It's going to impact your employees and the product and service that you create. It's going to not be pretty. So I recommend you to really take the time to do it for yourself before things get too big. Because when things get big, it's not just an amplification of the money or freedom or whatever it is that you're growing. It's going to be an amplification of you also, and what you're going through and your emotions and all of that. So please do it for yourself now. That's pretty much the biggest takeaway that I can give you. with all that we've been through.
Yeah, and also just to let you know, we have gotten help as well. Like, we hired coaches, we've gone through cleanses, we've done stuff, we've gone to retreats, and you're not by yourself. There's certain things that you feel uncomfortable with looking at and dealing with and all of that. Man, there's a handful of professionals out there that can really help you to integrate that, because believe it or not, by cutting away certain parts of you, you are cutting away the energy of it as well, and then reclaiming that can be very, very powerful.
Absolutely. And if you're feeling like, okay, I don't even know where to start, then please head over to bizinflow.com, and in the menu you can find Jachym's story, you can find my story, maybe you can have a good laugh at us about how we messed up, or you can also maybe relate to what we've been through, and we're always here to help. So you can always get in touch with us there if you want to hop on a call, if you want to get to the bottom of whatever might be sensitive for you, for whatever you may not wish to hide anymore, or whatever that you just want to set yourself free from. That's why we're there. And yeah, just get to know us in the same way that we want to get to know you. So head over to the website and check out our stories.
Yeah, we put quite a bit of time and effort into the stories to make them, good and worth reading, really. And also remember, you are unique. Your story is unique, and owning that story, owning yourself, owning what makes you unique is probably the most powerful thing that you can do to build your personal brand.
Yeah, and although it's not really related to the personal brand, Jachym's ready. Jachym's ready to sleep.
I'm ready to sleep, as always.
I'm not, so I'm going to head off and do a bit more screen time, but Jachym, I guess you can say good night.
Good night.
And see you tomorrow. And I really do hope that everyone listening along with us can make peace with our past selves, or our past with who we are today, and also be at peace with what we wish for tomorrow or for the future. But just be happy right now.
Bye.
Good night.